Yes, we do.
We are good to go. First case, she says, is 892. You all ought to take a look at the protest form.
Yes, I talked to everyone that's there. I am going to.
Oh, they're about, they're outside.
Just check the box for ad use on there.
Yeah, that's okay. Just take a look at it. Don't talk about it.
I'm sorry.
I think he meant to say Q1.
Oh, no. Have to find out.
First one.
Okay. Who is it?
He still isn't in, so just to let y'all know. She hasn't signed on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, she's making, her grades are fine, so she's making all A's, so I'm thinking. Maybe we'll just sit out that first 9 weeks.
Oh, yeah, she can do that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully they'll.
Good morning.
Morning, Cindy.
Morning, Cindy.
Everyone doing well this morning?
Just fine.
Yep.
The first case is 892. Valerie is prepping them now.
So they're in person?
They're in person.
Okay, cool.
Open.
Mhm.
That is unmuted.
We're gonna go into the moment light. Is on the right hand side or you can go either way. And tell her to Mr. Bowe. So Mr. Bowe and his son are here for their hearing on case 892.
Okay, we're ready? We're opening a hearing on case ID 2020-892, account number 13798.
They're right here.
Mr. Hong. Mr. Hong?
Mr. So, I believe. Bowe?
Mr. Vogt.
Bowe.
Say it again.
V-O, Mr. Bowe.
Vo. Mr. Vo, we have some administrivia to do before we get to the meat of the matter, so just follow along with me, please. This hearing is being recorded. We are the Appraisal Review Board that will be hearing your protests today. We are myself, Charles Powers, Robert Dayton, Kathy Hoffman, and Cindy Duck are present via Zoom. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. At the end of the hearing, you may complete a survey regarding your experience. The survey may be completed using a survey form and emailed to ptadcommunications@cpa.texas.gov or online at surveymonkey.com/r/survey-ARB. Survey is voluntary. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 41.45H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. Mr. Vo.
We understand.
Mr. Vo,
Are you able to hear us from here?
Just write a microphone in. Just say yes, he's gonna ask you a question.
Yes.
do we have all of your evidence in the system?
Yes.
Very good, thank you. ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anybody about the protest and are signing an affidavit to that effect. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F. I am signing to that effect and I'm physically located in Texas.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F. I'm signing to that effect and I'm physically located in Texas.
I, Cindy Duck, do solemnly swear I've not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F. And I am signing to that effect, and I am physically located in Texas.
I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F. I'm signing to that effect, and I am physically located in the state of Texas.
My name's Val Smith. I'm a notary public, and I am witnessing via Zoom Mr. Powers, Mr. Dayton, Ms. Hoffman, got signatures, and I am physically located in Texas.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath.
I, Ray Presley, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Val, give me a hand here, would you?
Yes, there, Mr. Bo's son's getting ready to state his name and read it, and then we'll work from there.
Okay, my name is Samson Vo. I do solemnly swear to or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Okay, now if you can interpret for your father, and he can just say it in his language.
Tôi nói là đúng là nói này, tôi nói là bà ngồi đây,
Okay.
bà hối chuyện rồi, kiểu bà đừng
That done quite well.
bà ngồi đây, thì bà nói được, kinh nghiệm được, bà nói đi.
Bà nói gì kinh nghiệm chưa? Bà ngồi đây, không nói tiếng Sạn, ngồi ở đây không bao giờ nói Sạn.
All right, we're done.
Thank you, Val. Mr. Vo,
Yes.
would you like to speak first, or would you like the district to speak first?
Không nói trước là bà nói hồi trước. Không nói trước là bà nói cái you first, please.
Okay, before you start, Ray,
Yes,
we need a clarification. If you look at the protest form, there's only one box checked, and it's box 6.
yes.
Can we get a clarification of what is meant by this?
Hey, Sampson, when
Yes.
the, Sampson, right?
Yes.
When the protest form was turned in, the box that was checked is incorrect appraised or market value of land under special appraisal for ag use, open space, or other special appraisal.
That's correct.
But that's probably not correct because that's for ag land. So that's like for people who have cattle and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
no.
the first box that's listed is incorrect appraised market value.
Okay, yes.
Is that probably,
That sounds much more accurate. Yes.
Yeah.
It is not an agriculture land.
yeah, can we go with that, Charlie? Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, so we can, all right, perfect. All right, so we got that part knocked out. I'll show some evidence here. This property is located on Stewart, or I don't know how you pronounce it. It's either Stewart or Sturt or something like that. It is essentially behind More Than Feed, about 2 blocks back from More Than Feed. And that's the property there. It's a regular lot, single lot, and it is has a small living space on it. Let's see, I think it was purchased for $14,000 in 2019. Leave the card right there for a second, Jackie. Just so that you guys know, Sampson, when you look at that improvement value, so you got the land value at 14, and then you got the improvement value at 16. When you look down here at the bottom of this screen, you'll see 2 items. One of those items is for a living structure that we have valued at $8,900, essentially. There's some, $8,960 to be specific. And then the next item is the utilities. So that's the way that we differentiate land that has water, electric, and some sort of sewer or septic attached to it versus a piece of land that it doesn't have any of that. Those 2 types of things, it changes the value of the land once someone has brought in utilities. So the itemization is almost 50-50, 50% home and 50% utility. So if we go to a sales grid, here you'll see that the first comp is the subject property. So the land sold for $14,019, and then the next comp is on Rose Street. So this is 1 block, 1 street over, and 1 block further west, and it's a mobile home sale. And then you have another sale on Stanley, which is 1 street the other way that runs parallel. and or maybe 2 streets, and sold for 46,000, and it's for has a small living structure on it. Sold in 19 for 46. The median value of these things comes out to 30,600, showing that we're, you know, $600 high on the property. Equity, I'm not sure it's under question, but just in case, we will look. The median equity value is 33,697, and the district doesn't have anything else.
Okay.
Okay, so now, so who
Sampson.
is it that's helping him?
Sampson.
Yes.
Simpson?
Hello.
Okay, so now he has, you've got 2 minutes to cross-examine and 5 minutes to present. So you've got 7 minutes to inform us about why we should change the value.
Tôi thấy là nhà tôi đã là 14.400 thì wait, oh, I'm sorry, is the land 14,000?
The land's 14. The improvement upgrade to the land is about 7, and the living structure is about 8. Rounding things off.
Thì land của bà 14.000 trên trăm. Thì nhà tôi đã giống 8.000 giống, and khi đồ là bỏ trong nhà giống khi nấu cho cũ cho đĩa như cái đó là 8.000 luôn. Bây giờ thì khu của bà thì nhà với cái land giống 33.000.
Nó cao lớp 2 lớp 3 không có cao lắm, đó là ấy thôi. Ba cái thấy nó bây giờ nó là 3 giờ ba sale 20.000 thôi.
Bán cho 20.000.
Ba bán 20.000, bây giờ hiện giờ ba sale 20.
Bán thì
20 ra đi
nhà thì khó cái nhiều mà thì nhà chưa ăn thôi.
làng nhảy lên luôn.
Trời
Tại vì ba không biết cái đó, cái nhà nó hư rồi, cái nhà đó là ba giờ nó sơn lại, nhưng là nó hư rồi, nó bị co hai cái nó hư rồi, thì ba sơn lại thôi, nhìn nó mới, nhưng là nó không đâu có phòng ngủ.
Is he telling us? Are they conversing with themselves? Sir,
Just hang tight, Cindy.
Bây giờ ba muốn cái ba
you
sale.
can't tell what's going on.
Oh, yeah. Just a second.
Okay.
nói gì nữa cháu sao là cháu
Nó cao lắm. Bây giờ cái đó là như là cái nhà đó, bây giờ nó đâu có nhà bếp đâu, đâu có nhà nấu ăn đâu. Không có nhà nấu ăn, ngủ tắm thôi. Rồi bây giờ ba muốn coi xem cái nhà đó để ba mua cái nhà 2 phòng ba bỏ vô theo ba muốn theo á, thì nó nhỏ quá đâu có phương tiện.
Time check, Cindy.
We've got 4 minutes still, or he does, I should say.
Yes.
Bây giờ bà để cái máy có 2 theo.
thì nó không biết bạn người nói chuyện rồi cho người ta biết có giờ suy nghĩ sao nó trâu
Sao là tại vì người đó ba không biết, ba mua ba nó nói vào ba không biết ba mua, cứ như là không biết ba mua cao quá.
nói gì là nhà ấy cái nhà ấy thì người ta ta đi một nhà 290. Tại cái suy nghĩ đó là phần để lo phải
Đúng rồi đó, tại cái đó mà như là cái sự với lại mấy giá nó đừng chỉ cái mua không phải gì.
so ta suy nghĩ là tí sốc là rồi ta muốn đi ta muốn một nhà ta muốn
20.000.
50.000 thôi.
And now we're down to 3 minutes.
10-4. They can have my 2 minutes coming up. It's okay. No big deal.
The utilities were, the home was 8,000 roughly, and the utilities was 8,000.
Right around, basically, it's like 79 and 80. It's really more, it's 89 and 79. Yeah,
Right here.
100, 8,900, 7,900.
And then nói là khi em thôi là 14
The trailer pad there before, right?
thôi và chính là
Oh.
khi đổ cho cái
Ah, thank you, dear.
đó là 7 phút
Is that Scott or Jackie?
đó được đã xin đọc không được anh nó muốn nghĩ gì hả? Dạ ta nghĩ đâu đó xong đó nó nghĩ đó ta nghĩ gì không ta nghĩ ok sau khi em ta muốn nghĩ ta muốn lên với nhà 20 ngàn thôi không có thách mà giống như tiền hết luôn tiền hết luôn á tôi thầu á là 20 ngàn.
Okay, we're getting ready to be at 1.5 minutes and they still haven't told us anything.
Ông muốn tiền dành á.
It's okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay, I got it. We were just gathering data.
You're good. You're good. No rush. You're not rushed.
I think we are ready.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. So my dad bought this land before the hurricane, and but post hurricane, he said that there was no trailer, there was no home. He brought in the trailer used, and because of the hurricane too, it was also damaged. Chúng ta phải mua cái nhà cho land đó. Nó kia một tuần năm tới nó mua cái nhà 2 phòng ở nhà phải có nhà không chưa có nhà đâu thì nhà đó ta mua cho nhiều cái nhà này tao mua có 5.000 thôi thì phải sửa lại nhà đó my father had bought this trailer for roughly 5,000 and it was damaged and he had to fix it up as he pulled it in. He said that there's the living quarters inside this home. There is no kitchen, only used for sleep and using the restroom. The home is very small, it doesn't occupy a lot of land. And the total of the land or the size of the land is really small. He thinks that he believes that the assessed value of the land and home should be roughly 20,000, with a rough estimation of the home to be, of the land to be roughly assessed at 10,000, the utilities and home cut by 5,000 each. This, that's it. Don't know, you know. Thì ba muốn đó là cái thang nó xuống mà nếu mà thấp quá thì ba phải bán cái này, ba kéo này đi, hay buông nó đi, ba không 2 cái phòng ở vô ca có phòng ngủ. He believes that the tax for the land and the home is roughly 500 currently. He thinks it's too high. It should be more about 250 to 300, and he is trying to replace this trailer now with a bigger one, but that is his current assessment.
Okay, so there'll be a point in this where, go ahead, Cindy. Let's.
Okay, so Ray, we just used up your 2 minutes, okay?
That's fine.
Now you've got 2 minutes, you still have 2 minutes left for cross-examine and rebuttal, okay?
I did my 2 minutes. They took my 2 minutes of cross-examine, and so
Yeah.
I'll just do 2 minutes of rebuttal.
That sounds good to me.
That's perfect. The district's opinion is something like this. we'll just kind of have to disagree on some of that. We think that the land value is fine at 14.4. I guess the only thing that I would say that I don't have an issue with is I certainly don't have an issue with going to the $5,000 on the structure for the year. I don't have an issue with that, but it would be for the year. The utility package is not something that I really want to change the value on. We already struggle in here keeping the value correct when land has utility versus land that doesn't. It's already a struggle for us. So if I change one, it has the potential to cause like equity issues amongst his neighbors that I haven't changed. So it's like I'm doing one thing for somebody, but everybody else is not. And that causes us problems in here. So the short version is I'm okay with putting $5,000 on the structure for the year. On the house, the bad news is that only changes the value by, it's like 8,900. So that's going to change the value by 4,900.
Ray, he said subtract 5,000 from each. So that would put it.
That's why I told him that that's not something, my first words were that that's not something that we would agree with.
Okay, on the trailer even.
No, what I'm saying is
No, that's fine. I just wanted to clarify and make sure I understood what you were
well,
saying.
I don't want things to be confusing here. I think you understand what I just said, right?
I do.
Okay, so that's all I have. So
So Ray, if you take the 5,000 off, what is the trailer is what, 8,900?
So what I said specifically was that I would certainly go to his purchase price on the living structure, which was $5,000,
Right.
which is going to change the value by 4,960. So you could subtract 31,290 minus 4,960, and it would be 26,330.
Okay, I get it.
That's where I'm at. I mean, we understand the purchase price.
Check your math again, Ray. I get 27,330. If you put,
Yeah, you added an extra 1,000 on there that you took off.
So which is it, 26 or 27?
I don't know.
I get 27. If you take the 7930 for the utility package plus
Yeah.
5,000 for the structure,
Okay,
plus 14,400 for the land, that should be 27,330.
you're correct. That is correct.
Okay.
Okay,
But let's
Okay, so now we are at Simpson's rebuttal for 2 minutes. So Simpson, you got 2 minutes to kind of answer what he said or, whatever.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
ตัวของแอปประมาณ100อยู่แล้ว
And your time started.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
With the current changes, he's really concerned about just how the total of the tax you'll get for the land and the home. I don't know the intricacies that go into calculating it, but he wants roughly 300 sounds fair, 250, 300. Now, I don't know all the intricacies, what information you need to influence that number. He believes that the home, I mean, we already presented, we have no new evidence that we want to share. But we're willing to listen and learn.
so I'll answer that specifically. It's kind of a crummy answer, but the levy, the amount that you pay for taxes, none of that's done in this office. All this office is tasked with is coming to a value. That's all we do is come to a value. There's some separation on that stuff on purpose in this county. They keep those things separate on purpose. So we're just are coming to a value. And I will say this is what I would say if me and you were just sitting in the office, is it seems like you always pay, you know, me personally, it just seems like you always pay a little bit more than you should expect to pay. You know what I mean? So like if you think you're gonna pay 300, the truth is 5, you know what I mean? It just seems like that's how it is.
We don't need any more time for rebuttal, by the way.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so, all right, so, sorry. So, now Ray, you get 1 minute for closing.
The district doesn't have anything else to say, and we'll just answer questions and stuff if I need to.
Okay,
So I'm okay with what I've said.
okay. So Ray, Simpson?
Yes.
All right, so now y'all get 1 minute. This is like your closing. This is your last opportunity to, like, you know, state your case or whatever, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and it started.
Yes, ma'am.
Giờ bây giờ các mai không biết chuyện này, không biết nào số nó lên nó xuống ở chỗ đấy nó không có hoạt động rồi cho trong núi như tiền như vậy nhà thôi không có khác là mình bỏ đâu chỗ khác chỗ này.
Getting ready to run out. Okay. So now the appraisal district gets
The review board.
I'm sorry, the appraisal review board gets thank you, Charlie. We get 5 minutes in which we're able to discuss and come up with our answer or ask questions. And I know I do have one question. And maybe I just misunderstood. Ray, did you say that he bought this property last year?
I mean, that's what our records show, that it was a land purchase last year.
Okay, because I think Simpson said that.
Sampson.
Huh?
The name is, go ahead.
I thought he said that his dad bought that before or right after the hurricane. They gotta give us answers fast.
Mua cái lên trước là có ngày nào thì ta mua cái lên nào before khi báo hay trước khi báo rồi báo rồi.
Okay. Yes, the trailer and the home, the land was bought after the hurricane.
Yeah,
Well, just under clean.
yeah, it could have been 18 or 19, Val. The land could have been 18 or 19.
Right, but you use that sale as part of your evidence, and so that's why I'm asking. So you're saying it's Sampson?
That is correct.
Okay,
Or
so
Mr.
does he know, was it in 2017 or 2018 or 2019?
Does it matter?
It doesn't, okay, all right.
Can
No,
I jump in? Can I jump in here for a second?
Of course,
I think we're,
please do. Please do.
I think we're making this more difficult than it is. I think the solution that Ray came up with in terms of the value of the land at 14,400 should stand, and putting the price of the improvement at taking 5,000 or applying it at 5,000, reducing the price to 27,330, I think is where we need to go.
I agree.
I agree.
Okay, so on account number 13798, I make a motion based upon what we've heard from the appraisal district and from the property owner, taking into consideration any items which might affect the total valuation on the property, that we lower the 2020 value to $27,330 on account 13798.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Done. Case closed.
So the board made a ruling, and then they'll send you something in the mail as well.
Rồi,
That's it. Yes, sir.
Ok, bạn muốn hỏi là cái đó mình mốt bạn muốn làm cái nhà, bạn muốn làm cái nhà biết có được.
Al, do we have another one?
Bạn muốn làm cái nhà.
Yes, the next case is going to be 1290. I think Amen is going to take Ray's place on that. And it's a phone hearing. There's actually 2 cases for this individual.
Okay,
yes.
What's the first case, Val?
1290.
Not with this, by the way.
1290.
We'll get out of here where time constraints are. It's okay.
One- 1290. The person's name is Miss Lott, Lott. She's representing TJ Elite. Is she here?
Okay.
And I believe Mr. Trey Lott also signed an affidavit, so it may be both of them on the phone.
This one is a phone.
This is phone. So they're the 2 pending. Yeah, she's the only one. We're ready to have those amended?
Is this gonna be 1290 and 1291?
Yes.
They're in the room, by the way. Jackie's wondering if you're ready for them to be admitted.
Yes,
They're here.
yes.
They're here, Charlie.
Okay.
You're ready.
This is Charlie Powers at the Appraisal Review Board. Who am I speaking to, please?
Charlie, this is Troy Lott and Jamie.
Lott.
Okay. Very good. We are going to do 621 East Market Street first.
Sure, that sounds good.
Okay. I have some administrivia that I need to go through before we get to the heart of the matter.
Sure.
We're opening a hearing on case ID 2020-1290, account 28059. This hearing is being recorded. We are the Appraisal Review Board that will be hearing your protests today. The panel this morning is myself, Charlie Powers, Kathy Hoffman, Cindy Duck, and Robert Dayton. Where'd you go? Oh, there you are. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. The Comptroller's Office provides an electronic survey for you to offer feedback about your experience today that may be accessed at the appraisal district office or online at surveymonkey.com/r/survey-ARB. Survey is voluntary. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information would be provided to you with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 4145H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. Folks, do we have all of the evidence?
Yes, sir. It was just pictures.
Okay, just want to be sure. ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing affidavits to that effect. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 4166F. And I'm signing to that effect, and I am physically located in Texas.
I, Cindy Duck, do solemnly swear I have not communicated with another individual in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F, and I am signing to that effect, and I am physically located in Texas.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F. I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F. I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in the state of Texas.
My name's Val Smith. I'm a notary public. I am witnessing the signatures of Mr. Powers, Ms. Duck, Ms. Hoffman, and Mr. Dayton via Zoom, and I'm physically located in Texas.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath.
I, Eamon Burke, do solemnly swear or affirm the testimony I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Mr. Lott, I assume that you are under oath because you signed the affidavit.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, did both of you sign the affidavit?
We did.
Very good. Just want to be sure.
Sure.
Do either of you hold a license as an appraiser in Texas?
No.
No, sir.
Okay. Do you have the procedure times, the hearing procedure time handy?
No, sir.
Well, we will walk you through it. It's a matter of presentation, cross-examination, rebuttal, and closing.
Sure.
But we have someone keeping time, so we'll walk you through it as you go.
Okay.
One thing, the last question is, do you want to go first or do you want the district to go first?
We'll let the district go first.
Okay.
Okay, the subject is 28059. It was noticed this year at $89,830. It's a freestanding retail property on Pearl and Market Street. Basically a retail storefront. And as far as we know, I don't think it has any tenants right now. They're working, those people working. The sales grid shows comps. The subject was purchased in 2018 after the hurricane for $66,000. And it gives an indicated value for the subject at $91,000 if it was in similar conditions. The next sale is a commercial land sale there on Church Street. Just the lot was purchased for $100,000, and it's like a block away. And there's no building on that one. And then the next one is a commercial building. It's actually our building, and it was purchased for $543,000. Also a very damaged building when we purchased it. Indicates a value for the subject at $286,000. So the median value based on sales activity is $113,000, and we have this noticed at 89. We're below. I know for a fact that this thing's worth more than $89,000. The equity grid is other similar properties, freestanding retail properties in the nearby area. It gives a median indicated equity value of $102,768. I will point out that comp number 3 is for sale for like $150,000 over what we have in it. And then the sales ratio report is commercial frontage. And I'll just point out again, this is still on cost. This is not an income valued property yet. The building is fully depreciated from 1977. It's only got $57,000 worth of improvements on it. And that is all of our evidence.
Okay, so now y'all have 2 minutes to cross-examine, and then you have 5 minutes to present. So I'm just going to give you 7 minutes if that's okay.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, we purchased that building for the price that they told you at 66, and we brought the HUD in last year, and showed them, and they took it last year. So basically, nothing's changed on the building. It's still the same. And as far as like any improvements, there was just minor improvements on just a little bit of the sheet metal outside of the building. Other than that, it's still a 1977 building. It's a metal building. So it's just, you could basically take a piece of the sheet metal off of the side of the wall and just look right in the building. It's not like a masonry building or anything like that. Other than that, I mean, we don't see the reasoning for about a 25% increase in value. I mean, we just bought it a little over a year ago for that 66, and nothing's really changed. So that's kind of, where we stand right now. You got anything, Jamie?
Yeah, I think that too is if you look at the pictures that I submitted, next door we have a dilapidated, like old efficiency kind of cottage. I don't know if you call it a hotel or what you want to call it, but if anything else, those buildings have like got worse. The roofs blew off during the hurricane.
It's the one in Rockport.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and next door, if you look, like, do y'all see? Are you able to see the pictures?
Yes.
Okay, those buildings next door, all the roofs are missing, and they're all open. And I mean, it just makes the whole area look bad. There's people that, like, you can see homeless people sometimes living in those and walking through them, and it just looks bad.
What is the date of these pictures?
I just took them off the internet. I was down there like 2 weeks ago, and they were still looked the same.
Okay, so these pictures were taken in the last. Pictures were taken in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, I don't know when they were taken, but I was there like 2 weeks ago, and they were still, 4 walls, the roofs were missing. Unless y'all did some kind of demo in the last 2 weeks, I can't say that I haven't seen it in 2 weeks, but I was there 2 weeks ago, and it looked very similar to those pictures.
Okay, so these are Google Street View Google pictures.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You should have a date somewhere.
Like I said, I don't think that there's been any improvements, and if anything, that next door neighbor makes it look horrible. They also tore down the city hall across the street, and so now we've got that sitting foundation empty. It just I don't see how the property value has increased
By 25%.
with all that going on. If they had tore all that down and built brand new buildings or new hotels and increased like everything, then maybe. But at this point, everything's still a work in progress from the hurricane. And that's it for me.
So, and did you say the building is empty, or are y'all using this for business?
No, the building isn't empty. There's somebody using it right now.
Okay. Just
Cindy?
well, I mean, they've got 3 minutes. Are y'all pretty much
Yeah.
done?
Oh, no,
Yeah, I think basically my real argument is just that nothing's changed in the last year. And, we did bring our HUD in on how much we, paid for it and what we have in it. And that's what we settled on, the previous year, on the amount. And so I just don't see the justification of the increase of 25%, or around 25% on what the county is trying to do. And I could understand, a slight justification, but, with everything going on in the economy and the COVID deal and just all of that, this year was just a bad year all the way around for everybody. And especially this year, I just can't see a 25% increase in value when really nothing has changed. It's the same as it was last year. There's not been any other improvements or anything. So, I just, we'd like to just keep the value where it is.
Okay. All right. Was there anything else?
That'll do it for us.
Okay. So now, Eamon?
Yeah.
Eamon?
Okay.
So you've got 2 and 2. So you've got 4.
Yes. Yeah. Were you willing to tell us how much the rent is for your tenant?
We just at this point, I don't think that really matters. We just want to go with the valuation of the building.
Yeah, and that's because the valuation of the building is wrong, and I think we both know that. This is undervalued. This should be valued on income, and the rent is relevant to what the building itself, regardless of who's in it, can demand rent, and that's what it's worth. Who is JDSP Ltd? Is that either of y'all, or who is that?
I have no idea who that is.
Well, it says that was the person that was purchased from in 2018.
Oh, okay, okay, that might have been the seller that we bought it from.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, so basically all that happened was this thing had like damage ratings on it and it was in a deteriorated condition. But you know, our job is to put this thing at market value, to put a number on your property that's what it's worth. Just the building, just the real property. And when people bring us a settlement, like a sales survey, we'll often settle for 1 year, given that it's like a benefit of the doubt single data point. But I mean, if you manage to buy this building for $5, it doesn't make it worth $5. It's worth more than what we even have on it. This thing's problematically undervalued. And by the way, your neighbor with the motel thing, that's like a protracted legal battle with the city. That guy thinks that he should be able to rebuild those buildings. So there is a deadline on how long those are there, but they're not forgotten. They're just, for some reason, the property owner is still trying to do his hurricane stuff that way. But anyways, yeah, it's definitely a weird situation over there. But in any case, I don't think anybody's ever going to be able to buy this from you for $90,000.
Well, especially not with the neighbor next door. I mean, that directly affects us.
No, I
You
mean,
said
I
it
don't think
yourself.
we're going to sell it for 90 or even less than that. Y'all are going to sell it for more than that. This building is.
Yeah, but come on, man, 25% increase in 1 year, especially this year. I mean, we just bought it for $66,000 is what we have in it. So, I mean, I could see, you know, maybe a 5%, you know, or something like that. Yeah, I understand. But, I mean, you can't just go and try to give us a 25% increase in one single year. I mean, give us some time.
In fact, we can't slow it down like that. The only properties that get a graduation of value change is residential homesteads. Second homes even don't get any kind of percentage cap. Only residential homesteads get it. And our commercial properties, we failed our PVS last year. And part of the problem was that our entire commercial category was extremely off. And that can't stay that way. If it does, the school district starts getting fined millions of dollars. So, you know, not only it can move more than 10% or 5% a year, it has to.
Yeah, but you're comparing us to other buildings that are like masonry buildings and stuff. I saw you put on there the Spanky's liquor store, and you know, I mean, this isn't that kind of building. This is an old 1977 metal building with sheet metal siding, you know, and like an old R-panel roof. It's got the same original roof on it that it's had since it was new. So these aren't like comparable to what you're comparing us to.
The thing that would be a really good way to not, like, to actually figure out what this property's worth, to not be speculating, to not have conjecture about it, to not be saying, oh, is it like this one, is it like that one, is you should value this property on income. That's why income is done. Anybody appraising this property would do it on income. That's how this works. And if your property was worse, it would generate less rent. So that's why I asked what your rent was.
Actually, sir, you know what? You're partially right about that, but you're not 100% correct, because when there's an appraisal done, it's a 3-income approach to come up with the valuation of a building. So yeah, the income approach, the cost comparison approach, and the comparison and the cost approach. So there's actually 3. Yeah, and that's the way a commercial appraisal is done. I'm familiar with it.
Okay, and so what we're doing right now, the district ran out of their time, so now y'all have 2 minutes for rebuttal. So you're more than welcome to continue into that. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I needed to make you aware of the time factor. Okay.
Okay. No, I think we're done.
Well, you've got 2 minutes.
Okay. I think really at this point, I'll just reiterate what I said again. I can't see a 25% increase in one single year on this property when nothing's changed. You know, I think, you know, we wouldn't mind having, you know, maybe a 5 or 10%, you know, increase. We understand that, you know, but again, this has been a really bad year for everybody, you know, financially, and, you know, especially this year with the COVID and, you know, a lot of people, you know, staying home. And I think next year would be a little bit better for any kind of an increase than this year. But
and I'll say the last thing again, the neighbor is horrible looking, and, you know, he's admitted that, you know, they're trying to do something with it, but their hands are tied. So, you know, reevaluate it when you get that torn out or rebuilt.
Okay, that'll do it for us.
Okay, so now the district gets one, Eamon, you get 1 minute for your closing.
In closing, I'd just like to say this property is one of the ones that needs to be moved to income. It's undervalued. It's not good. Our opinion of value of it is basically hand-tied by equity and data. But my opinion of value of this property is higher than we have noticed on it. The only reason that it changed from last year is because the damaged thing was taken out. It was a settlement statement that we said, okay, well, maybe the building had something wrong with it. Yeah, that's what it was. It was a 1-year thing. It's fully depreciated from 1977. That's all.
Okay, and so now y'all have 1 minute for this is your last opportunity to speak. So you've got 1 minute for your closing.
Okay, in closing, I think that we've pretty much said all that we can say, and we just like for the board to make their decision on the valuation.
Okay.
Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, that'll do it.
Okay, so now the appraisal review board gets 5 minutes to deliberate and discuss this.
I
I
think
have a question. I have a question for Eamon. Why was this not on an income basis?
Because we have to do all the freestanding retail. And in order to do all the freestanding retail, we only had 4 months to do income stuff this year.
Oh,
The other
okay.
thing is in this county, a lot of freestanding retail is residential buildings. And it's extremely tedious to go through. This one's obviously freestanding retail, but there's a bunch of them where it's like a house, you know, and we just have to do them all at once.
Okay. Okay.
I think this should stand the way it is.
I agree. From an equity grid standpoint, it's well under the equity grid value. So
Yeah, that's 102,000, and that's the only thing under protest anyway. But you know, I think that my recommendation would be to leave it where it is.
Yes, and the other point was, Eamon, didn't you say that there had been a code which had like lowered temporarily the valuation on this property?
It was a distribute value from a settlement statement. The note in the account said that the assumption was that the building had something wrong with it, that it was damaged, but it's only a 1-year settlement.
It's only 1 year?
Yeah, when somebody buys something, we'll settle with them typically for 1 year. You know, if they buy a house and say, okay, well, you paid less than we had on it, we'll settle it and it'll add to our data of what we look at for the market.
Okay. And so based upon what we've heard from the appraisal district, what was presented today, based upon what we heard from the appraisal district and the property owners, evidence, taking into consideration the possibility of the appraisal ratio exceeding the median level of appraisal on account number 28059, I make a motion that we leave the 2020 valuation at $89,830.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
aye.
Okay, case closed. Next case. Open a hearing on 2020-1291, account 49178. We'll skip down in the script to the ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of text code 4166F. I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
Can you change the picture?
I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F. I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in the state of Texas.
I, Cindy Deck, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another individual in violation of tax code section 41.66F, and I'm signing to that effect. And I am physically located in the state of Texas.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F. I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
My name is Val Smith. I'm a notary public. I am witnessing Mr. Powers, Mr. Dayton, Ms. Hoffman, and Ms. Stubbs' signatures via Zoom, and I'm physically located in Texas.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath. Amen.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I, Eamon Burke, do solemnly swear or affirm the testimony I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Okay, and I am assuming that the lots are under oath as a result of
Yes.
signing the affidavit. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Who goes first?
We'll go ahead and let the county go.
Okay, Amen.
Okay, the property is 49178. It's a freestanding retail property in Aransas Pass near the that three-way intersection and the Pelican Inn. It's a freestanding retail building, and it was valued. It was noticed at $196,780 for 2020. The comp grid is sales that were in this area, and the first one is 945 commercial. It was a commercial purchase. It was $220,000. Indicates a value for the subject at $335,000. It was a small little residential type building. It was like an office. It's being used for some sort of business. And the next is a commercial purchase in Aransas Pass for a metal building. They paid $128,000 for it. Indicates a value for the subject at $219,000. It was purchased on the same way. And the third comp is the office building that we're currently sitting in. It's purchased for $543,000, and the indicated value for the subject is then $333,000. That ends up being the median, but the subject was noticed at $196,780. The equity grid is other properties that are in the same property category type, where they're, this building has the ability to be a restaurant, kind of built out a little bit for that, or at least it was at one point. And there's other buildings that have been used for either restaurants or medical buildings or offices. And on an equity basis, it shows the equity value is $192,676. So this one is an equity value. It's within our margin of error, but that is lower at about $4,000 lower. The property was not moved to income this year because we didn't do all of our freestanding retail. You can see on the equity grid on this one's a little bit high. So, you know, again, it's within our margin of error, but it's, you know, that's why the property value didn't change to incomes. We have to do them all at once. The next is the sales ratio report of commercial frontage property. Shows we're at 92%. So that is all of our evidence.
Okay, so now y'all have 2 minutes for cross-examine and 5 minutes to present. So I'm giving you 7 minutes.
Okay, you go ahead and go first. Okay, so basically, last year's valuation on that building was $100,000. We did buy this building, you know, after the hurricane, and we came in last year and we gave all of our evidence as far as what we had into the building. And that's pretty much what the board decided on, is what we had into it last year, and that's how we came up with that valuation. So, you know, there was the only other funds that were put into that building after the last protest are, you know, the vent hoods were already there and owned, but they were just reinstalled, you know, on the roof. And so there was just, you know, really no more than about another $10,000–$15,000, you know, at the most put back into that building after that. And so, you know, with an increase of, you know, 96 point whatever % in value, that's just not there whatsoever. And then the other thing is we did send in some comps on some other things that were for sale in the area that was metal buildings, and they were about $28 a foot, which is kind of in line with, you know, some of the other, you know, stuff that we that we saw as well. But and we're not selling this building, so you know, the comps that they gave are what's for sale. We're not selling. This is kind of our cost on what we have in it. So, on what we're seeing is, 28-ish dollars a foot is kind of where we're seeing that type of building at. I know the one of 621 East Market in Rockport is now $29 a foot. So, I think we need to be right around, 28, 29 bucks a foot is where we really need to be on this. And also, I will say that this area is not the best area as far as the neighborhood goes. We did have some issues with some, I pulled up to the building one day and there was someone sitting on the sidewalk shooting up in between their toes. I guess it was meth or whatever they were using. And then another thing is when I was there trying to do some work on this building, last year, I was actually in the parking lot in my truck and I got solicited by a prostitute in the parking lot, which was just delightful. And then of course behind it is a trailer park, that just, and then there's that Pelican Motel next door. And, it's just really not in the best area at all. I know somebody went to the bank to try to get a loan at Prosperity Bank, and he came back and told me, yeah, the people down at the bank told me that area is just really bad and I should stay away from there. And there's a lot of criminal activity over there. And also the banker even told them that there was prostitution in the area too. So just really not the best area. I can't see the justification, especially because we don't have that kind of money into that building. I mean, really maybe 115,000 at the most is what we have in it. And so that's kind of where I'm at on that. So, I can see, maybe raising it $10,000, $15,000 at the most, but, and that doesn't even go in line with the comps. I mean, if you do the comps, we're 28, 29 bucks a foot is where we should be on that. You got anything?
No, you pretty much nailed it.
So if you did the 28 or 29 bucks per foot, as you said, how much would the valuation be on the building?
So the valuation would be if you did $28 a foot on that, I think that building's 4,320 square feet. It'd be 120,960 is what it would be at the 28 a foot, and that's where the comps are, and that's pretty much where the 621 ended up at over in Rockport, and then the other ones that we saw were about the same, and this is the same kind of metal building that has office and warehouse. So and then as far as what we actually have it in our cost is less than 120,960. It's actually about no more than about 115.
What is in the building?
So the building is being used by the nonprofit organization called Head Start. And so they have the building next door, and they use that building for the only purpose they use it for is just to cook their meals. Is all they do in there. And they take the meals to their different locations.
Cindy, where are we in time?
They still have a minute and 50 seconds, almost 2 minutes.
So yeah, the building's used by Head Start, and they're the ones that had it for the past 14 years. And so basically they took it back again. And it's a good thing they did, because if they didn't, I'm sure it would just still be sitting there vacant. But the reason that they took it is because they already had the building next door, which they used for daycare. And so they used that one to cook their meals in. And that's why, they're the ones that reinstalled the vent hoods and everything in there. So
they pay you rent for that building?
They do. So anyway, yeah, so I think that if you go on the comparison, we're looking at about 28 bucks a foot, and then if you go by, our costs on what we have in it, we're going to have about, 110, 115, right in there.
Wait,
into
what
the building.
happened to the 120? Okay, so what was that 120?
Yeah, the 120 is the cost comparison at 28 a foot, and we don't even have that much in that building as far as our costs.
Okay,
but yeah,
that's what it is when you do 28 a square, and that's for the building.
It is.
Okay, cool.
Right. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
I think that's all.
Okay. So, Eamon, you now, of course, get 2 minutes to cross-examine and 2 minutes for rebuttal.
Okay. Was this property listed for sale at any time in the last year?
In the last year, no.
Okay. I see. I mean, in the year of 19 to 20, sorry, not in the last year since today. I mean, in the year for the appraisal, January 1 of 19 to January 1 of 20.
Aren't we doing 2020 taxes, or
All
are we
right.
doing 2019
I'll
taxes?
just, all right, I'll take my question back. I'll just tell the board directly, I failed to include a piece of evidence in here, and I can't submit it now because I can't submit new evidence, but the property owner is not divulging. I'm trying to ask, but he obviously knows why I'm asking. I find this, I just want to say I find this very frustrating that our job is to put the value, an accurate value on things. And we come in here and have a hearing under oath, and people are very slippery about what things are and the reality of things because they're actively buying and selling properties, and we're way below the activity that they're doing. So I don't have any more rebuttal or closing or anything. I wish that I had included that one piece of evidence that I can't include. That's all.
Okay. All right. So now y'all get a 2-minute rebuttal.
Okay, and I feel I actually it's pretty much the same thing because I also, and Troy as well, called in to try to do an informal with Eamon and left several messages, talked to one gentleman, 3 ladies up front, and have left 3 to 5 messages for an informal meeting, and we were never able to receive that. So, you know, I think there's a little frustration on both parts, but I think it deals with communication. So, you know, maybe next year we can go about this in a different way and try to do that.
No, you're not entitled to an informal phone call. The only thing you're legally entitled to is to request a hearing. When you protest, there's a lot of stuff that has to happen in this office. There's like a staff of 10 people. We're producing evidence, we're making pockets, we're scheduling things.
It's their time to speak.
Okay, and I have one last thing to say. I also did speak to someone finally in the office down there and kind of discussed a little bit about the property value. And it was confirmed that the property value in Rockport is higher than the property values in Aransas Pass. So with that being said, you know, I think this property is qualifies for being undervalued versus a Rockport property per square foot.
Yeah, and I just feel that the area that it's in is just, you know, when we first bought this property and when we were first getting familiarized with it, we really didn't know the neighborhood that good. And it wasn't until after we bought it that we really figured out like how bad it was over there as far as the drugs and prostitution and just kind of the, you know, I guess I'll just call it the neighborhood around there. And now, you know, that we own it, we realize, you know, what it is over there. And so I think that gives that area and that building just you know, a very decreased valuation just because where it sits and where it is and just, you know, the activity that goes on in the area. And I haven't gone over to the police department to pull up any reports or anything of, you know, all the arrests or anything in the area, but I can just tell you, if you're familiar with it, you probably already know if you live around there. So,
Okay, so now you've run out of your time, so now the district gets 1 minute for closing.
I have no closing.
Okay. So now y'all get 1 minute for closing.
Okay. So I think that we've kind of just, I think that basically, I think we want to be, you know, $28 a foot or less because that's where our comps are. And I think that, you know, on, you know, that type of building in that area. And again, our cost is, you know, between probably 110 and 115 is where we're at as far as what we have into the property. So I think, we'd like the board to make a decision, on those numbers there. So I think in closing, I think we're done.
Okay. All right, so
Now we get 5 minutes.
yes, now we get 5 minutes for discussion.
The equity was 192.76.
Yeah, it seems like a warranted adjustment downward to that, is warranted. The comps that the property owner have provided, these are industrial warehouses. These are not finished buildings, so I don't see that those are really comparable.
Right, and Robert, I'm like you. I wish they, the pictures didn't convince me that we're even talking about the same kind of building.
I agree. We're going with the equity level that Eamon presented.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just
So-
round it down to 192.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just going to take it there. So on account number 49178, taking into consideration what we heard from the appraisal district and also what we heard from the property owners, taking into consideration the possibility of the appraisal ratio exceeding the median level of appraisal, that we lower the 2020 valuation to $192,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Case closed.
Okay. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank y'all. And you should get something kind of restating these numbers. Sorry. And also, you'll get a survey. If you would please fill out the survey about your experience with the appraisal review board. Please. We'd appreciate it. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank y'all very much for coming.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Is Val there?
I am here. So that is the end of the 8:30 docket. And I do see a car in the parking lot. So I'm thinking that might be at 10 o'clock. I'll check on that. But otherwise, we do have the caveat in our agenda today where we can go to other agenda items.
Okay.
But I'll go check and see if that's a person to check in for the 10 o'clock and be back.
Yeah, let's find that out first. 5-minute recess.
Okay.
Okay.
Backwards day. Maybe I should walk out of the rooms. Hey, Jackie. Jackie.
Room.
How's your, what?
Jackie stepped out of the room.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask how her, but I'll wait till she comes back.
Okay, so I checked and the car is gone, so it wasn't someone for a hearing. And Mike's here and
So this is the,
Wait, but hold up, because what they did, we took a 5-minute break, guys.
oh, good.
okay,
So sorry, they're not there.
okay, no worries. I'll be back in 3 or 4 minutes.
That'll work.
But is the stuff for me to like look at or read?
Yeah, it's in there under hearings. I mean, under regular. So if you go to the date, August 31st.
August 31st here. Is it under each docket?
No. So just go to August 31st.
Regular meeting.
And it's there, and then it's in these folders also.
So what am I going to read? Am I going to read the
Usually on the meeting minutes, they just say.
accepted the previous minutes or whatever? And then we go into the chief appraiser motions, read those out, go into the previous joint motions.
And then the supplement.
What's the previous meeting minutes PDF?
That's all of those.
So that's just for them to accept the previous minutes, basically. All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You have a question for me, Cindy?
Shoot, sorry. Is that-
When you're on mute?
I know, it was like, I answered you and it was like, she isn't even like acknowledging.
No, because you're muted.
I know, but I fixed that. Okay, so how is Chance's girlfriend or significant other?
She still has to, she had to reschedule with the neurologist because they called still.
Ah.
I know, but she's on seizure medication now, so she hasn't had a seizure, so it's good. The ER doctor put her on the medication and she's been okay, so.
Yeah, but it like knocks you out usually.
Well, I think she's gotten used to it. That first weekend that she took it, she was at my house and she pretty much slept the entire weekend. And she's like, I don't know what's wrong with me. And I started reading that medicine. I said, well, it says it's going to make you extremely tired. So maybe her body's kind of getting used to it, maybe.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, she said she's never taken anything like that before, that just like she could not stay awake. She said, I tried everything I could, but she seems to be doing fine now.
Oh, good. Well, at least until she gets in with her doctor, at least she won't, because it's the grand mal that you just want to keep from happening.
Yeah, definitely.
So at least that, they've given her something and she's okay.
So far, so good. It's been a week, so
Good.
hopefully, she'll be fine.
Yes.
I have to go until next weekend, so pretty sure, hopefully she's okay.
Yeah. Not
Hey,
sure.
Val, do we have anybody at 10 o'clock or what are we doing?
Well, we are waiting for people on the 10 o'clock docket. There's also the possibility, if y'all wanted to talk about like the meeting minutes, the approval of those until, the 10 o'clock people start arriving.
So the person in the parking lot was not for us?
No, when I went back, the car was gone.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we have to, we're on hold, right?
Yeah, till 10:15.
Well, but I think Mike came in. Is Mike coming back, Val?
I thought so. He's not here right now, but I'll go check on it.
He's taking a phone call, I believe.
Oh, okay. Jackie said he's taking a phone call.
Okay.
So what are we gonna do, our meeting in between hearings or at the end of the day?
We can reshuffle them in between meetings, the way she's done the agenda.
Okay.
So Val, you want to go ahead?
Sure. I guess we could look at the meeting minutes. So if you
know what?
go,
Let me take it off of YouTube. Or
Well,
you don't want it on YouTube?
no, it's fine.
Oh, it is,
It's an
okay.
open meeting.
Okay.
Where you go on your Kindle back to August 31st, you had hearings and then you had regular meeting.
Right.
And so
Right.
it would be the minutes on that. We have quite a few because of all of our letter reading and such.
Oh, and look, there's an X on the first one, Val. It's,
Okay, I'm not.
can you see? It says X dot next to supplements.
No, you want to go to V1, VI.
But I was trying to give you grief.
Yes.
Oh,
That's why I said VI rather than 6.
so we're looking at the minutes now, right?
Yeah.
My son called me last night and he said, Mom, I tasted a V8 and I have to say, I'm really liking them. He just
Okay.
cracked me up. It's like he'd had them before, but
You tell me when you're done reading the minutes.
yeah, because we
I'm done reading them, and I can make a motion that we approve the minutes of the meeting on May 20th, 2020.
wait, it would be June 15th.
They're reading.
No, the meeting was May 20th. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what I'm making a motion on, that we accept those minutes as written.
Okay, so what is,
There's other ones too. There's the June 15th meeting, but I'm talking about the May 20th meeting.
okay, there you go.
So do we need a second on that?
I'll second that now that I've read them.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so now we're doing the June 15th minutes, I guess.
Yes, I make a motion that we accept the June 15th minutes.
I haven't read them yet. I'm reading them.
Which one, which item is that on the list?
It follows, I don't know. Robert, I'm sorry, I don't know.
It's all in the same PDF.
Yeah, just
Oh,
scroll,
okay.
keep scrolling
Just
down. It's
scroll
on
down,
there.
keep scrolling down.
Ah, okay. There we go.
Cindy made a motion to accept the minutes. Is that correct?
Yes.
This is for the June 15th meeting, and I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So now we have the June 17th meeting.
Okay. Where's this was open?
I was not at that meeting, so I'll let somebody else make a motion on it.
I move that we approve the June 17th, 2020 meeting minutes.
I thought that's what we just did, but okay, I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
On to the June 19th.
Yeah, I make a motion, we accept the June 19th, 2020 minutes.
Second.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I move that we approve the June 22nd, 2020 meeting minutes.
22nd or 25th?
22nd.
June 22nd.
22nd.
I
Oh, okay.
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can I make a motion that we accept the June 25th, 2020 minutes?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and I think we probably better stop there. We do have someone that will be coming in for their hearing on the 10 o'clock docket. We're setting up their evidence. We'll have to move the camera. It's one of those where it's on a flash drive. So we'll get that prepared.
But what account is it, Val?
Okay, first one then is going to be 17111 or 1711.
What is, I'm sorry, what is it?
1711 Simmons.
And it's on the 10 o'clock docket?
Yeah, it's on page 4, the middle of the page.
Case 1711.
Now there's two.
Oh, there, Becky.
Yeah.
1711.
Page 4, middle.
Top of page 5.
Oh, well, I have page 4.
Oh, you must have the other version.
Oh, I'm going off of the,
Oh,
Yeah.
the one you just sent us today, last night?
let me look at what this one says. I'm going in docket order.
Yes, it's page 4 on the one that she sent us.
Okay, thank you.
But the one that came in your folder, it's on page 5.
Sorry, I didn't realize there was 2 different ones. What? No, but I just do the computer, I guess, to where. I'm moving the camera just so you know, to show their evidence. Maybe not, maybe so.
All right, you have to decide how you want it. Here,
Can y'all see it?
No,
Okay, hold on.
we have to put it on
Okay.
this camera, or you have
I
to put it
know,
on
I'm
this
trying.
thing.
Hold on.
you can read that, Kathy? Not what's on your screen.
What? I'm looking at the house. Is that what I'm supposed to see?
Oh, hold up. Hey, Ray, Scott.
Right.
Scott?
Yes.
Okay,
There we go.
I do.
what was the other, must have been a different account. Okay.
This one I.
They've done this one already.
Good.
It's real blurry. I don't know.
Well,
That's gonna be this screen
You're
one.
gonna have to turn out the light. That's better, much better.
There.
You're wanting
I have a problem now.
Okay, that's better.
Just stop screen sharing. So,
Yeah, I did it.
yeah, we stop screen
Okay.
sharing and then you can right.
in spotlight this one.
That's like putting a spotlight on.
Here.
All right, and tell me, am I lined up right?
You know, you're.
That's pretty good.
We're able to see it.
But, no, other
Nope,
way.
Nope, nope.
Other way.
Turn it to your left.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's good enough, yeah.
Well, am I out of the way enough for their feet here?
Yeah. it's good
Is
enough.
there, can this turn? Can this turn? Because we could get the foot out of the way a little bit.
It's all right, I think.
I think it's fine.
Okay.
There's good.
Hopefully they'll want to go
2.5 feet
first.
here.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
no, there's a big body in front of it now.
How big? What are you trying to say?
Oh, but wait, look at those abs. What great abs.
all right.
Okay, thanks, Scott.
You're welcome.
Sorry.
Jackie,
Yes, sir.
who's going to be at the table?
I don't know, maybe Ray.
Okay.
I'm assuming. I know you shouldn't assume, but I'm assuming it's Ray. It's not commercial, it's a residential, so.
Ah. Okay. Interesting.
I'm gonna put him down as the appraiser. We'll see if I.
Okay, this is correct. So that's from their file, right?
Yeah, this is their evidence, the front
Okay.
page of their evidence.
Okay. So that house that we saw was,
Well, I
I
can't
know.
say much.
It's ahead. It's ahead. I know. I'm sorry.
These people live on my street, so, or they live close by me.
Got it.
We don't have that evidence on ours.
No, it's on a flash drive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's why they had to move the camera.
yeah, we got a flash drive. I'm skimming this morning.
Okay. And Charlie, on this one,
Can't discuss it. I understand.
got it. You haven't opened it yet. Got it. So Charlie, if they had gotten in any of the 25/25s, do they hold those and we do those later as a group or what?
I hope so. Are they here in person?
They are.
Okay.
Ray's on his way in.
Okay.
To the right of this door. So you go in to the right.
So Mr. and Miss Simmons are here for their hearing.
Okay. Tell me when you're ready, Val.
We are ready.
Okay. Mr. and Ms. Simmons, we have some administrivia to go through before we get started. So if you'll just hang in there with us. I have a couple of questions toward the end. We're opening a hearing on case ID 2020-1711, account 65111. This hearing is being recorded. We're the Appraisal Review Board that will be hearing your protest today. On the panel is myself, Charles Powers, Robert Dayton, Kathy Hoffman, and Cindy Duck. We do not work for the Appraisal District. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. At the end of the hearing, you may complete a survey regarding your experience. The survey may be completed using the survey form and emailed to ptad.communications@cpa.texas.gov or online at surveymonkey.com/r/surveyarb. Survey is voluntary. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 4145H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. Folks, do we have all of your evidence?
Yes.
Very good, thank you. ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing an affidavit to that effect. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F. I'm signing to that effect, and I am physically located in Texas.
I, Cindy Duck, do solemnly swear I've not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F. I'm signing to that effect, and I am physically located in the state of Texas.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F. I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F. I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in the state of Texas.
My name is Val Smith. I'm a notary public. I am witnessing the signatures of Mr. Powers, Mr. Dayton, Ms. Hoffman, and Ms. Duff via Zoom, and I'm physically located in Texas.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath.
I, Ray Presley, do solemnly swear affirm that the testimony I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
So you can go ahead and state your name and do that. Yes. Stephanie Simmons, I do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
John Simmons, I do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Do either of you have a Texas appraiser license?
No, sir.
Okay. On the table in front of you is a document called Hearing Procedure Times. You see it?
Yes.
That's the procedure that we'll be following throughout the hearing. And you get to choose whether you go first or the district goes first.
I will go first.
Okay, hold time just a minute, Cindy.
Okay.
Sir, I'm looking at your protest form, and the box you checked was other, and I'm not sure it says breaking of freeze.
Yes, sir.
Can you explain to me that just in brief terms?
Well, we have the disability freeze, and on the new construction, that freeze is broken.
Okay, are in your contesting then the appraised value at this point?
No, sir, I'm not contesting the appraised value. I'm just protesting the freeze.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I'm sure it will as we go on.
Okay.
Okay, you have 5 minutes to state your case. Cindy, you can start the clock.
All right.
All right. The freeze has been broken because we built 100 square foot bigger house. Well, that house was built by a recovery group. We did not have the ability to choose the size of the house. And it's supposed to have been, the freeze has been broken because it's built a little bit bigger, and I think a little bit better. But our old house had beadboard wainscoting and beadboard ceiling and thin ceiling. And yeah, that's,
Sorry, I'm having trouble for you.
and our new house just has sheetrock and
What else is that?
that's the old house, yes, that's the old house. Yes. Just to show you what it had, slate tile, ours does not have tile anymore.
Okay, that's the old house.
Yes, ma'am. And the new house, we didn't bring any pictures of.
Oh, okay.
I didn't think about it. But it's just regular,
These are all the same?
yes, ma'am. Not expensive. But, we would just like the original freeze back in place.
I understand.
Can somebody explain to us,
Which
what
freeze?
the freeze is? I don't know what that is.
I think the district will do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
he'll cover that.
Okay, because okay. Yeah, somebody's gonna have to, because it's
Yep.
not, okay. All right, did y'all, you still have like 2 minutes?
Okay.
Was there anything else that you wanted to present?
Well,
Help us
okay,
understand?
the house is now on 9.5 foot piers as opposed to, I think it was 2 foot piers. But that is only because the county said the original house was not high enough. We now have a concrete driveway, but I don't believe y'all tax concrete. And that's the ways the house was made better, I would assume, is the height and the driveway. And that's because the county said we had to go higher and tax the driveway. So I assume that's the reason for the higher rate or higher taxation. So no freeze, breaking the freeze.
Okay, and the pictures that were on the flash drive that you brought in, what were those for?
Those were the old house to show that it wasn't, the new house is not necessarily a better. Better. It's the new house is straight sheetrock, no wainscoting or beadboard or anything like that.
Okay.
Jackie?
Yes.
What am I looking at, left and right?
That's the before, their house before, and then that's the house after. That's
Left
the house at 16.
Left is before, right is after.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, other way around.
Left is
It's the other way around. On the left is after.
Yeah,
Right house sold.
before. You can see
Right.
this is November of 16 through January of 17.
I can't read it's all fuzzy on the bottom.
Yeah.
That's why I asked.
The concrete is new.
This is the new house.
Yes, ma'am.
This was before the hurricane.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. So now the district gets 2 minutes to cross-examine and 5 minutes to present their case. Right?
Okay, did you guys have questions that y'all were wanting me to answer about this?
Well,
Yes, explain the freeze, please.
yeah.
Okay, so a freeze The freeze takes place on the dollar amount, on the taxable, on the levy itself, the check you have to write, and it's per entity. So an entity can either be part of a freeze or they can not. For example, the city of Fulton does not take part in the freeze. So if you live in Fulton and you are a disabled person or you're over 65, then there's no freeze. But to be, simply put, it's the dollar amount that you freeze at that number. It creates a ceiling, and the ceiling is imagery, meaning you can't go through the ceiling. It stops. Your market value can change. Your market value can keep going up and up and up, but the amount that you pay hits that ceiling and it stays.
The taxes, the actual taxes?
The actual check that you write.
Taxes.
Yeah. So if, let's say you froze at $399 to the school district and you froze at that number, and the next year the appraisal district raised your market value, which is fine, that $399 would not change. You're frozen at that number. The only place that it can go is down. If your house was appraised downward.
Okay, so he's saying the freeze was broken on this property, or asking to have it broken?
The freeze on his property was broken. Freezes across the county were broken.
All of them?
Not all of them, no. Not all freezes were broken. It's a decision that the appraisal district has to make. Specifically, the chief appraiser has to make some decisions. You have to read the law and get it interpret it, get some counsel, make sure you're understanding it. There's things that play on whether or not you can break a freeze. So let's say there was not a hurricane and one of you guys had a freeze on your property and your exemption was in place, and then you built a guest house in the backyard.
That would change.
That's considered new value, and your freeze can be broken for that. So now let's consider that you live in a town where there's a hurricane and it wipes out people's homes, and lots of these people have a freeze in place. They have a tax ceiling. They are disabled persons or they're over 65. So now what do you do? Because they're going to build back a home. And the question is that new value? Is that a new home? How does that value get attributed? Does it count as new value, like it's new, or does it somehow not? What's the right thing to do? So I guess it depends on how you look at it. I think part of me would say the right thing to do is don't break anybody's freeze no matter what. Just let it go. But that's not how the property tax code is written. The property tax code says that it's not new value unless it's larger or the exterior is built to better quality. That's what the tax code says. That's the simplest, without me having to just read verbatim out of the tax code, which I can if y'all want. But essentially it says that if it's larger or better, and it talks about the exterior, it uses the word exterior, which is important that it doesn't use the word interior, because if they were careful to make sure that there wasn't some reason for an appraisal district to look inside a home. And just what's the exterior? So on this home, it is only slightly larger, just slightly. However, it's built, in our opinion, this is an opinion, it's built to better standards. Like it has better windows than the other home. It's The siding is arguably better. The fiberboard siding is better. This one is right on the line of what should you do? Because of course, this is an easier decision if the house is substantially bigger, 400 square feet bigger. It's a real easy decision. It's like, yeah, it's 400 square feet bigger. Or if it was 400 square feet smaller, it's an easy decision. You get one of them's a yes, one of them's a no. But in this case, it's 100 square feet bigger, and it is, in our opinion, the elements, the building codes that they use to build this house are much better, which makes a better exterior home. And that the windows and the siding are better. Were you about to say something over there?
I'm just curious, what was the siding before?
I think it was SS, standard siding, wood.
And
Right.
what is it now, Hardy?
Hardy, it's arguable. Maybe somebody would, you can argue that.
Those you kind of typically, like, they're pretty even Steven can.
They are. They're I'm okay with that. But the windows and the building standards of this home, whether or not it's built on the ground or built up in the air, built up in the air is actually shouldn't be the reason that you would break a freeze. That's not a reason for breaking a freeze. So that's not the reason that we broke the freeze, is because it has a carport underneath it now. What we had to deal with is bigger and better. That's what we had to deal with. Is it bigger? Is it better?
So once the freeze is broken and a new value is established, then that freeze is in place and stays in place until some other change happens. Is that correct?
Yes, but let me speak about this for a second, because there's an annoyance in this account that I would prefer not to bring up, but I'm going to bring it up anyways, since it's probably the right thing to do while we're all sitting here together. I have a note in this account that says to update the sketch. Okay, this is what it says. Jackie, will you bring the evidence up?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to change.
Oh, then don't. Just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'll just talk. And they can ask a question if they want. There's a note in the account that says update sketch. Home is actually 42 feet by 26 feet. Which would be 1,092 square feet. So in this account, we have a note for this 2021 cycle that somehow we measured this house incorrectly, which is a little embarrassing because it's a rectangle. But we did measure it. Apparently we got the wrong measurement. And so we have the house at 988 square feet. Potentially the house is actually 1,092 square feet.
The new.
Hold on. The reason I'm bringing that up is, what's the difference between 988 minus 1092? That's 104 square feet, right? So that means that when we add that 104 square feet at about $86 a square foot times 86, that means we're going to add $8,944 or so dollars that are going to be considered new. So more than likely, the appraisal district is going to feel like it's necessary for us to break this freeze again and add again and add $8,900 onto the market value, which is going to be, that's like times 0.017. It could break the freeze by another $150 or something like that.
You're talking about next year?
Or is that right? $15.
Right, are you saying that would happen next year for 2021?
Well, the reason I'm bringing this up is really not so much for you guys. I'm wanting to be above board with the Simmons family here.
Yes.
I don't want to say that, because Kathy, you said now you got the freeze in place, that was your word. So you were saying, hey, so you guys have broke the freeze, so now the ceiling is stuck again. If I would have just said yes, then the answer, that would have been partially true and partially me not telling the whole thing because it's cumbersome.
No, I get it.
So that was really for the Simmons family to hear from us in person, that would be our intentions, that could be around the corner. So I've talked enough. We should probably move on.
Okay, yes, but okay. So Ray, and I'm sorry, but so, okay, the freeze has been removed. So now I understand what might happen next year with those 104 extra square feet, but is a freeze going to go back onto this property now?
Yeah, I mean, legally, these guys,
They get a freeze.
Yeah. And I've said this to you guys before, and I think this is a true statement, and that is, out of all the counties in Texas, only 3 or 4 counties have to deal with this kind of nonsense. You have to have a hurricane, you have to have the place destroyed, you have to have a freeze in place, then you have to have the question of breaking the freeze. So this stuff is not simple, it's not easy, it's not fun. Nobody likes it. The question that an appraisal district has to deal with is what we do for one, we have to do for all. We have to try to be as consistent as we possibly can. In a compassionate world, you just wouldn't do any of it. But we have to follow this book. Which brings us to you guys.
And I guess
you're going to get a chance. In fact, she's about to tell you right now.
yes. Okay. So now he gets 2 minutes for rebuttal.
Yes.
My house was built by CDRG, Coastal Bend Disaster
Recovery Group. Mm-hmm.
Does that count for anything, or does that?
We checked on it,
Okay.
Sean, we checked on it because we thought there's a stipulation in the code that talks about like a block grant for a political subdivision. So in our minds, we thought that the Coastal Bend Recovery Group was going to be a quote unquote political subdivision, but it's not actually. So although the Coastal Bend Recovery Group acted as a hub for the Mennonite organization, Habitat, Samaritan, and they may have even were part of the GLO stuff. I don't know. The GLO may have handled their own paperwork and stuff, but the Coastal Bend Recovery Group tried to help the other organizations. Samaritan's Purse tried to help all these guys out. They actually just are an organization that they're just a helpful organization. They don't fall under. We had to actually call our lawyer to find out because we didn't know the answer to this question, and we found out from him that a political subdivision is really the entities, the city of Rockport, the county. Even though they're associated with them and they like what this Coastal Bend Recovery Group did, there wasn't a block grant that made all this possible. All this was made possible from essentially donations and people working, people who are prepared to help in a recovery.
This one from the GLO.
Cindy, time?
I'm not sure who did this.
They've got 11 seconds.
CDRG, Mennonite, MBS, and Habitat.
I'm gonna give him a little more time because he was answering the question. So I'm giving him more time.
Honestly, I don't know what to say. That's where I'm at. Yes, sir, that's where I'm at, I'm sorry. I
It's
don't
okay.
know what to say.
Okay. All right, so that you're done now?
I believe so.
Okay. All right. So-
Did you have anything to say?
I don't.
Okay, it's all right. I don't
Okay,
really.
So now the district has 1 minute for closing.
The district is closed and I can just answer questions if necessary.
Okay. All right. So now y'all have Simmons, y'all have Sean and Stephanie, y'all have 1 minute for your closing. And it's like your last opportunity to present to us.
Well, I just wanna say that it's not that much bigger, it's only 100 square feet bigger. And that's total, I believe, from the old house. The siding's not that much better than it is. It's raised, but y'all apparently don't count that as better. That's about all I have. Those two. And I didn't have any say in the side of the house. But I want to add that too.
Okay.
That's about all I have to say.
Okay. So now the appraisal review board has 5 minutes to discuss amongst ourselves and ask questions to come up with our evaluation or our opinion on this.
Ray,
Yes,
did the class change
yes.
from what?
A 3 to a 4.
A 3 to a 4?
3 to a 4.
Why am I looking at a 3 in the card?
It's a 3. You might be looking at the previous card, which was a 3 SS plus, and now we're at a 4 FB.
How do I know if I'm looking at the wrong card? I'm looking at the card that was in the evidence.
What does the top of the card say, Charlie? Does it say property appraisal information for what year?
2020.
So in 2020, my card says 4 FB.
That's what mine says too.
Wait, you're looking at the property card?
Yeah. Oh, I see. The two of them smashed together. Okay, I got it.
I think that since he's not contesting the value of the property at all, so I don't think we have to make any changes in that. The decision is about the freeze, and it seems to me that that had to be done according to law.
But the lawyer's letter indicated that if the class went up, that was grounds for breaking the freeze.
Yeah, and so I think the decision has to be that
I
it
don't
stands as it is.
I don't, because they couldn't build the house unless they, like, when you build a new house, when you go to get the permit, if you don't put that specific kind of windows, I mean, then you won't get the permit. It won't pass. Okay. And also the siding, I mean, that's always been, they've always said, you know, really the two, who's to say which one is better, because they're really basically the same. So I don't know that. I don't think this is that simple.
I do.
I do. I think that, it for sure, it met the criteria of being bigger, not by much, I'll grant you that. The fact that the windows are different and all that, they had to do that. So the house it's got to be better than it was before.
I agree. If you look, there was other wording I was reading in the section of the law that talks about normal maintenance and things. This is beyond that. This is definitely it's larger, and it has a different exterior, and it's an upgraded class. So it's unfortunate, but I think the freeze is broken here.
I agree.
I agree.
Now, I wish, well, I'm not going to say that. If this comes up again next year, the district's mistake, I'm not sure that that would break the freeze. That's their mistake. So
That's next year's problem.
that's next year's problem.
Okay, I agree. Cindy? You want me to make a motion?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, please do, Kathy, because
All right, I'm gonna make a motion on account 65111. Based on what we've heard from the property owner and the district, the only item under question was Q5 other, breaking of the freeze. And it is the opinion of the ARB that there was grounds for breaking that freeze, therefore it will remain in effect.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I,
Okay, let the record show that 3 approved, 1 opposed. Case is closed.
Thank you all very much.
Something in the mail. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Yes, sir.
oh, is that all for 10 o'clock?
Don't get that.
Charlie, you see any other 10 o'clocks?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. I was being optimistic, Charlie.
No, there's one guy that's got 4 properties. That's what
Yeah.
Val sent the additional sheet.
Oh, right. Is that a phone or is he gonna be here?
I don't know.
I don't either. We'll find out shortly.
Okay,
She'll have to tell us.
all right. I'm just stepping out away for a minute.
I'm gonna go get a cup of coffee. I'll be right back.
Yes, I need to rest.
We're taking a break. Oh. Todd here?
No.
Val,
Yes, sir.
do we have anybody else for 10 o'clock?
We do not. It was no show. One person with 4 accounts. So
Yeah.
we can resume our regular meeting when you're ready.
We went to all that trouble.
Yes.
Oh, well. Wait till the girls get back.
Done? It's very done.
Yeah.
Does it look like it's gonna pour down at y'all's houses?
No?
No?
I got sunshine coming through the windows.
Huh?
I got sunshine coming through the windows.
On a cloudy day.
I guess you'd say.
What can make me feel this way?
Don't
Hey,
give up your day job.
I
hey,
know. Yeah, don't give it up, right?
hey, Mike, have you done any of those virtual rooms?
What do you mean, like WebEx or something, like Zoom?
No, it's a thing. It's an activity. Like you get a group and I guess you could probably go by yourself and like you have to figure out how to get out. Like you're like in a house or in a room and you have to figure out, they give you clues and you work it out as a group on how to get out of the situation.
Oh, it's like an escape room.
I'm sorry. Yes, I said the wrong thing. It is an escape room. You're correct.
I've never done one in person, but I've never done one virtually either.
Well, see, I'm gonna see if we can do that with my, because his birthday's coming up in September, and I thought, oh, we could go up there and do, I thought that'd be fun.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I like puzzles like that. That would be a
Yeah.
lot. There was a movie not too long ago that was called Escape Room. It was pretty.
But
it was
is that like something bad and evil happens? I'm not gonna watch that.
Yeah, bad and evil happens.
No, okay, don't tell me about it. La 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 la, because I don't want to even be thinking about that.
What can make me feel this way?
If you want the real thing, go through a smokehouse at a fire training school.
Oh man.
That would be true. Except then you get the smoke.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Or do we have everybody back, or we
Yes,
still?
I'm back.
Yes.
I'm back.
We're on the June 29th minutes.
Oh, okay, we're over there.
Right. I think y'all were just reading them individually. Is that right, or what?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. You want to continue where you left off?
Yes, that's June 29th.
Okay, I got it. I gotta get up to speed here. Oh, June 29th. All right, I got it.
Had we done June 29th yet, or that's the next one?
No, that's what we're doing.
Okay. We've got a lot of letters. I'm ready to make a motion.
Go ahead, I've read it.
Kathy, you good?
Yep, I'm good.
I make a motion to accept June 29th, 2020 board meeting minutes into the record.
I'll second
Second.
that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're on July 2nd now?
July 1st.
July 1st, sorry. I realized we had this many
I'm
meetings.
sorry. Okay. I'm ready to make a motion on July 1st, 2020, that we accept the board meeting minutes into appraisal review board minutes into record.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There.
Okay, I make a motion on the July 2nd Aransas County Appraisal Review Board meeting minutes that we accept those into the record.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, I make a motion on the July 7th, 2020 Aransas County ARB board meeting minutes be accepted into record.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Oh, gosh. Okay, I make a motion on the July 8th Aransas County Appraisal Review Board board meeting minutes be accepted into the record.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Okay, I make a motion on the July 9th, 2020 Aransas County ARB board meeting minutes be accepted into the record.
Second.
In favor?
Aye. Okay, I make a motion on the July 13th, 2020 Aransas County ARB Board Meeting Minutes be accepted into the record.
Second.
In favor?
Aye. I make a motion on the July 14th, 2020 Aransas County ARB Board Meeting Minutes be accepted into the record.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I make a motion on the July 15th, 2020 Aransas County ARB Board Meeting Minutes be accepted into the record.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Okay, I make a motion on July 20th, on the July 20th, 2020 Aransas County ARB Board Meeting Minutes that they be accepted into the record.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hey, is Val in there?
I am.
Hey, Val, I don't know if it matters or not, but at the bottom of each one of these pages is an old date. It's just a little bitty one at the bottom, so you may want to take that off. I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, on July 22nd, 2020, I make a motion that we accept the Aransas County ARB Board Meeting Minutes.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, on the July 27th, 2020 board meeting minutes for Aransas County ARB, I make a motion, we accept these into the record.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. I make a motion on the Aransas County ARB board meeting minutes for July 30th, 2020. These are accepted into the record.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Okay. On the Aransas County Appraisal Review Board meeting minutes dated August 5th, 2020. I make a motion, we accept these into the record.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. On the Aransas County ARB Board meeting minutes dated August 11th, 2020, I make a motion that we accept these into the record.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I wasn't at this meeting, so,
August 10th.
yeah, neither were you.
Okay, Robert.
So Robert,
I make a motion that we accept the August 10th, 2020 meeting minutes for the ARB into the record.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
okay, here we go. All right, so on the Aransas County ARB board meeting minutes for August 12th, 2020, I make a motion, these are accepted into the record.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right,
Well, August 13th, right?
yes. I make a motion that the Aransas County ARB board meeting minutes from August 13th, 2020 are admitted into the record.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Cindy, you weren't at the 17th meeting. So I'll make a motion regarding August 17th, 2020 meeting of the Aransas County Appraisal Review Board that they be accepted into record.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion, on the Aransas County Appraisal Review Board meeting minutes dated August 19th, 2020, that we admit these into the record.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I make a motion on the August 24th, 2020 Aransas County ARB Board meeting minutes be accepted into the file.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're almost there, okay. I make a motion on the Aransas County ARB Board meeting minutes dated August 26th, 2020, that we admit these into the file.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's it. It finishes the reading of the minutes.
Excuse me.
Do we have people at 10 o'clock or not?
No more.
No more?
No more.
So the guy with the 4 cases didn't come in?
Didn't show.
Ugh,
Good.
sorry, Val.
She did all that work.
I know. And then it would call.
Okay, we're gonna move on to one of the other items, if that's okay.
Chief appraiser motions?
Yeah, we can do chief appraiser motions. We may be able to get through all of this.
Okay.
I'm going to read the chief appraiser motions. This is item number 8 on the agenda, I believe.
Yes.
Chief appraiser motions, they're in your, I hope they're in the same order. Let me in fact go and look at that.
Okay, so what number?
I'm gonna read. I'm going to read. Yeah, on the agenda items, it's under chief appraiser motions number 8.
Oh, you mean VIII?
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay. What I have here on the first one, there's a little scratch on there. I just want to make sure that the 270 is correct. Okay. On the first one, it's July, dated the 22nd of July, 2019. A clerical error that affects 2018 and 2019. The qualified year for the tax lien was set forth in 2018 rather than 2017. This motion would allow for the tax ceiling to be changed for 2017 for the 2018 year appraisal. It would also allow the tax ceiling for the qualified year to be changed from 2018 to 2017. The new value in that free ceiling is calculated to be reduced from $567,300 to $270,340 to the 2019 year. And notice the correction in blue there. That is the first chief appraiser motion. And at any point, you can stop me if you have a question about any one of these. The next one.
Do we need to make a motion to accept these?
After we're done.
The whole thing.
Yeah, after I'm done with all the chief appraiser motions, then you can make a motion.
Okay.
That was dated 5/21 of 2020. The next one is also dated 5/21 of 2020. On the 22nd day of July 2019, it says Market Street Homes, lot 48, and the property location is 109 Yopon Street. That's a clerical error. The new value in 2019 was $43,300, but it should have been $30,100. The appraisal records should be corrected to show this lower value for the improvement. This will cause the tax ceiling to decrease in 2019. In 2020, there will be an additional new value as well for the tax ceiling will increase again.
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah, of course, go ahead.
Okay, so these are like for like a case that we may have heard or not today. Also, over 65 exemptions, and is that what most of these are related to? Is different exemptions?
Most of these are clerical errors, or an inclusion of property that was left off the roll, or within a specific district, things like that. They're mainly cleanup clerical errors in, inclusion into taxing units. It's like that particular property should have had maybe the city of Rockport included, whether, we left it off, so we had to correct that change.
So when it says this will cause the tax ceiling to decrease, they're talking about the overall tax ceiling, not just this home.
Yes, the tax ceiling, the tax ceiling, which is an actual, so it's associated with the freeze amount for this particular person.
Oh, okay, so it is, okay.
And then the very next statement was in 2020, there will be an additional new value as well for the tax ceiling will increase again. So we're affirming that it went down in 19, but it's going to go up in 20. And this is a clerical error thing that and that's why the box is checked. In the year it says for the tax imposed years, and this particular one is in 2019 only.
Okay. Cool, thank you.
Certainly. The next one is on Copano Ridge Unit 1, Block 2. It's 111 Copano Ridge Road, Rockport, Texas. It's a clerical error for 2019, account number 16815. In 2019, the new value under the box improvement detail in the account was checked, and the override radio was selected for an override amount of $774,330 entered. The improvements was $189,520 in 2019. The override amount was incorrect. Property history, the property history entailed the 2017 Hurricane Harvey damage that resulted in demolition and a rebuild of a new home. According to the 2323F subsection 2B, the exterior replacement of the structure is of higher quality. Therefore, the break in the freeze for the 2019 year is based on a value, based on $71,600 of new value. The next one, again, just stop me if you have a question. The next one is unit VCS0040000. This is a mineral account. It says inclusion of property that does not exist in the form or the location described in the appraisal roll. K.E. Andrews, acting on behalf of AXIP, submitted a property owner's motion to correct the appraisal roll, received January 10th of 2020. The motion was for more properties than the one listed above. On June 28th of 2020, Pritchard and Abbott submitted a 2014 appraisal roll action form because they agreed with the evidence presented by the agent. The request was to remove the lease compressor via heavy dealer inventory or heavy dealer declaration. The value before the change was $116,820. The value after the change is $0. The tax refund is $862.55 to be issued. All right. The next one is another unit. It's the same kind of thing. You can read the value before the change at the bottom is $202,660. The value after the change is $0. So this is dealer inventory stuff. It's where the situs was determined to be somewhere else in the new law. The way all that broke out from this dealer inventory legislation, it said that it was in another place. So we're basically taking it off the roll in the years in question. Okay. The next one is 2016. It's the same type of thing for unit B4000. It's 100,000 before the change, 100,700, $0 after the change. It talks about the tax refund. The next one is the same thing for 2017. It's 100,700, $0 after the change. The next one is the same type of thing, unit 4700. For 2017, it had 100,700, $0 after the change for the year of 2017. Again, another chief appraiser motion. This is a regular house or a lot. It looks like it's in the Bahamas, 17 Bahamas South for the years 2016 through 2019. The clerical error that affects the property owner's liability. The property owner's original application for homestead application in 2013 did not include a copy of the driver's license, and the error was discovered in 2016. A letter was sent to the district and and the property owner refiled for the homestead exemption in 2016 with a valid driver's license. The exemption was not reapplied, and the property owner let us know in 2020 protest that he's not been receiving his exemption. The mailing address and the situs do not match. A statement from the property owner dated 5/24/13 states that he received mail in Houston. So from this particular one, did we include it? Like we applied it or did not? Okay, so we applied the exemption. All right. So next chief appraiser motion has to do with McCampbell, block 19, lot 6. It's 1513 Highway 188. The years in question are 2017 to 2019. What we have is the city of Rockport annexed the property with ordinance number 1696, adopted in 2016, but the entity was not added to the appraisal district roll. The city of Rockport will be added as a taxing unit. So basically, this was a GIS correction. We just didn't have this on the roll in the proper way. The next one is McCampbell, block 18, lot 5 and 6, 1471, 188. Again, this is the same type of situation, and the ordinance number was 1696 for the city of Rockport annexation. All right, this is 311 McLester Road. It's in the Fesdenson survey, 13.09 acres, clerical error for 18 and 19. In 2020, case 2020-546 was heard of the appraisal review board, and it ordered that the agricultural productivity be applied for the appropriate segments since the 1D1 open space agriculture use was made for 2018. The productivity will be applied for 2018 and 2019 per this motion. Next one is Copano Ridge Unit 1, Block 2. It's 159 Copano Ridge Road. It's a clerical error. Property had new value checkbox improvements for the 2019 year, and the value had 82,420 added, and the home site box was unchecked. The existing freeze for 2019 was broken with the new value added. The property was identified as 11135 property after Hurricane Harvey. The property was determined to be bigger and or better. I'm sorry, not bigger and or better. After the original structure was replaced, this motion will correct the problem, removing the new value of 82,420 for the 2019 year, checking the home side box, and doing a ceiling override to reinstate the original free in accordance with section 2323F. Next one, this is a short-term rental of 1611 Lauderdale. The property was deleted due to Hurricane Harvey damage, no longer a short-term rental. Next one is another short-term rental for 366 Copano Ridge Road. This is not a short-term rental per owner. The next one is BPP Harbor Inn. BPP business account was deleted due to the appraisal district changed its valuation methods on an income basis. The next one is BPP Coastal Care Center. Business personal property account deleted because personal property no longer exists at this location. The next one is BPP Rod and Reel Motel. BPP account deleted because appraisal district changing value on an income basis. The next one is Seaview Motel. BPP account due to property changing to an income value basis. The next one is a short-term rental of 674 Copano Ridge Road. Property deleted BPP due to a late filing business closure for short-term rental that no longer is there. The next one is short-term rental of 212 Starboard. BPP account for STR was deleted because property was sold. This is a short-term rental of 116 West James. BPP account deleted because resubmission of late business closure forms. Short-term rental form by the property owner. And the last one, it looks like, is the Redfish at Landing Point 1.329 common acres right-of-way is Redfish Point Drive, account number 65568. It's a clerical error. The account is a common area, and this account includes a boat storage. It is part of the preserved neighborhood, and the income approach did not work correctly. So with this account on a cost basis, this corrects the value for 2020 from $163,970 to $45,420. Therein lies the chief appraiser motions to correct that we currently have for submission and review for the appraisal review.
Can I have a motion to approve the chief appraiser's motion for correction to appraisal roll?
I make a motion, we approve the chief appraiser's corrections to the appraisal roll.
Second that.
In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All
Joint
right.
motions?
Yes, I'm moving on to joint motions. Again, I hope they're in the same order. Yeah, okay, good. The very first one, joint motion correct, is Coca-Cola beverages. There was an incorrect value of 134,150. The correct value is 83,521. Adjusted according to 2019 value for resubmission of a rendition. Corrections were made to the machinery and equipment for the date. So this is kind of a late rendition. You can see the associated settlement.
I didn't put it in like that.
Okay, all right. The very next one is a settlement waiver of protest.
Look at that.
Oh, that is
That is
Coca-Cola.
part-
That's
yeah,
cool.
so there's only one more point. So
There's only one more joint motion
go all the way to the paper.
right there. Okay, the other joint motion, there's only two. Okay, the other joint motion is Kamlesh Patel. This was one that was heard this year. It was one in a situation where they had a block that went through from Church Street to Live Oak Street. So the value in PID for 17,927 is 75,000. The legal description, Dowdy and Memphis, block 34, lots 9 and 10. The value for 17,923 and the value for the land was 100,000, I'm sorry. The legal description for the Dowdy and Mathis is block 34, lots 1 and 2. This motion will change the land value in account number 17923 to 75,000, which is equal to the value of account number 17927. Again, we just saw that, you know, just for purposes of equity, that this should be changed. It was already ruled on in the ARB, and I told Mr. Patel that, you know, I would change it, and this is the motion, the joint motion.
Okay. Motion to accept the joint motion to correct incorrect appraised value?
I make a motion that we accept the joint motions to correct the values.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next item is item 10, which are supplements. Now, as always, we have a couple of different breakdowns. We have the order approving supplement records. We have the groups of the supplement detail. And then we have the summary of the certified roll changes. So I'm going to go through the first one, which is the order approving. Well, this is just the summary. So this will be once y'all rule on this, this will be something that that Charlie, you will sign and date today. So let's just hold off on that just for a second and go over all the changes here. So you have on the summary, you have group 296, it's the certified roll changes. We removed it because there was no related data layers on that particular group. On group 297, you can see either it has a value, or if it has parentheses, there's a negative change there. So again, we just went over a whole bunch of chief appraiser motions and joint motions. Those are going to be in this supplement detail, okay? So they're going to be a rehash of what we just said in many cases. So 297, you can see that there was a disaster penalty property 00000. There's a minus 4,700, a minus 50, for a total of 55,330 in the negative. In 298, there was just freeze and freeze changes. In 299, the same kind of thing for 2019. In group 300, there was the 11,135 disaster property exemption removal. Again, there was a denial there, so there's zeros. In group 300, you have a lawsuit value. So we actually settled the lawsuit from 2016 and 17. You can see that it's a minus $1,355,010. and in each of those years, so the total for that group is 2.765620 million in a minus. Again, that's just a lawsuit change. That's nothing that y'all control on your side. It's just lawsuits take a while to get through the process. You can see that's from 2016 and 17 there. Group 303 is just freeze and freeze information there. It's just, there's no changes in the assessed value. In group 304, you have 2525 Charlie, and those are chief appraiser motions. Those individual amounts were covered in the chief appraiser motions that we just read. You can see the total for that group is 777,790. Group 305 is certified roll changes. There was no layers here. Group 306, you have a mobile home deletion of $9,250. Group 307 was rolling stock. We always do rolling stock kind of late in, like one of the very first supplements, because of the way Jerry over at the tax office likes to see her reports. Group 308, there's a 2525 Bravo, which is 0 change. Group 309, 309 is actually the bulk. I think that's the bulk of, this is a really important line item to understand. If you look at group 309 certified roll changes, and you're looking at 4147, that's your actual hearing. So this is kind of the bulk. This number was kind of put together through group number 309. And you can see that this ARB determined values of $3.9 million. That would have been stuff that you would have heard, okay? Moving on, settlements on protest, that would have been things that we would have done with informals or settlement waivers that we would have signed. So you can see there's 1.6 million there. Homestead cap, there was a minor change there for a homestead cap for a particular property. The total for that particular group was 5.5 million and change. Group number 310, you have late renditions, and also you have chief appraiser motions there. Group number 311, you have a homestead cap. It's a 2525 Bravo. Group 312, you have ARB determinations. Again, this is another set of properties that you would have heard. So the culmination of the most of the things you would have heard would be the summation of the 3.9 million and the 5.8 million after certification. Okay, so this is stuff after certification. Chief appraiser motions, you'll see there, and settlements on protest, that's stuff we would have done. And then there's a 2525 Bravo. That is the summary of all the certified roll changes. The reason you have so many is because when you're talking about your regular meetings, you know, this is kind of a summation from the last time that you would have met. So that would have been a while. That's the reason it's so large right now. Behind that, you have the actual supplement details. So within each one of those groups, you can actually look which properties by name, which is a requirement in the tax code. So we have the property ID, the supplemental year, the associated code, the property owner's name. You have the legal description. You have, and you have the market difference breakdown. I will entertain any questions that the ARB has at this time.
I don't have any questions.
Motion to accept
I make a motion, wait, what do we call this?
supplemental records.
Okay, I make a motion that we accept the supplemental records from the chief appraiser.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Charlie, we'll just have you sign this today and we'll put it in the record, okay? The order approving.
Yeah, just send it to me by email and I'll sign it and put it in the stuff for Scott to pick up.
We have to get your original signature on this one.
I'll put it in with the other orders from today.
But I can print it out and put my original signature on it.
Okay.
If you
Alright.
send it via email. Because I can't email it to myself from this thing.
Sure, I'll do it.
Okay.
Is that everything? I believe that's everything, everybody.
Yeah, I've run out of categories.
Now, that's all the stuff for you. Did we have anything else on the agenda as far as our meeting or?
Yeah, this afternoon we still have hearings.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Oh,
do
yeah.
that. We'll do that after the hearing, Cindy, I believe.
Well, this is part of our meeting, Kathy, what we just did. The way Val wrote it, we can interject. And I was just curious, do we have other things?
Oh,
I
okay.
don't have anything.
Yeah, you cannot adjourn until the day is over.
Right.
For all of your.
Oh, no, I'm not trying to adjourn.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm not aware of any letters that we have, so I don't have anything there.
I don't have anything.
I did think of one thing for like when you set the next meeting. I've been told it doesn't really matter, but in the code, it says that the ARB will be presented with supplemental changes within the first 10 days after the close of a quarter. So I just thought I would throw that out there in case you wanted to try to meet sometime between October 1st and October 10th.
Yeah, that's probably just to satisfy the code. Just so you know that there's talk under the legislative committee for TAD for legislative actions, and that's one of the things that we're trying to change, so that there's not such quite a tight timeline. But having said that, that's the way it reads right now. So I agree with Val that this board needs to set a date sometime between October 1st and October 10th. For the
Okay.
next.
Charlie, maybe you can throw some dates out there later on.
Sure. No problem.
Okay,
And that's all we have until 1:30.
Okay.
all right.
Thank you, everybody.
See you then. Okay.
Thank you. See you in a bit.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, we'll see you after a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.